Hello and welcome back to the Mason clan. Yes, we're still in Australia and yes, we're still in New South Wales. It's day 16 of our trip. We're in the van and we're heading up the Pacific Highway. Now we've had a weekend with family for the wedding and they've added to the list of places we should go and visit. And one of those today is from the family recommendation, a stop at Ballina. Yep, that's a big prawn, or a shrimp I think they call them over here, and there's no way that's fitting on our barbie. They like to do these big things. We've already seen the big banana near Coffs Harbour, and we've got something big coming up as well later in this video. Things are starting to warm up and it's certainly feeling more tropical up here, and it's another drive along some of the beaches. Now, if you remember at Coffs Harbour, we'd spotted some of the migrating whales. Now we're back out on a coastal road. We thought we'd have another look, and we're getting better at spotting the signs that they're about. That little line of white wash on the horizon is an indicator that there's some whales out there. So let's take a look and see if we can spot any. Now, as we've mentioned on previous videos, we joined a few Facebook groups about travelling around Australia, and this is Lennox Head, which was recommended for a stop off on one of those groups. There's plenty of surfers here, but there was also plenty of whales to see as well. It was a delight to watch them swimming across the bay, and the surfers were in the water with them without a care in the world. And just a side note, this was the one place I saw a snake. It was at the side of the road as we were pulling up in the van. So yeah, I wasn't hanging around near there. Continuing north, we came to Byron Bay, and we'd already been told this is a love it or hate it sort of place, and we couldn't pass by without a stop. We actually headed out to the lighthouse, which gave great views again of the area, and there was easy parking for the van up there too. Now, the lighthouse is a very popular stop, but there's a lot of coming and going of people. There is a cafe up here, there's toilets, and there's lots of information for you to read and great views as you walk around. So it is worth a visit in our opinion. After lunch at the Lighthouse Cafe with Stephen fending off one of the bush turkeys, we drove down into Byron Bay itself. Now, I'll be honest, we didn't really find it that van friendly here and struggled to park up. So we continued through the town and on to the place I think we would both rate our number one stop in Australia, Brunswick Head. The campsite we're using here is another one from the Reflections chain, and as soon as the manager found out we were British, he was keen to tell us his wife was a Scouser. So I pitched back onto the Brunswick River, and it was a gorgeous spot. There was pelicans there was birds flying around, and we even made ourselves a little friend for our stop here, Eddie Lizard. As you'd probably expect, most of the other campers were Aussies, and quite a few of them had boats with them, so those pitched on the river had moorings as well. And we realised that the men quite often went off early in the morning, I'm presuming to do some fishing, before coming back later in the day. There was a little marina nearby, and I tell you what, it gets dark here early. The stars were out by 7:30. Well, it's another morning and the sun is shining again, and it's a lazy morning for us. The back doors were open and we enjoyed a brew in bed, watching the world go by before heading to Brunn's Bakery. Oh my gosh, this place is amazing. There's breads, there's pastries, there's pies, there's cakes. Oh, it was so busy and I'm not surprised why. After that, we headed for some alcohol. Now, you don't buy it in the supermarket here, and this one was a drive-through beer shop. So we topped up on supplies, had a look around a few of the other shops before heading back down to the van. Eddie was still around near our pitch, and he brought a friend with him who we'll call Edwina. The pair of them were just sunbathing, doing not very much. The river was also probably more busy today than it was yesterday, and I'd noticed our Aussie neighbour had disappeared off in his boat going fishing, I assume. We took a wander along the shoreline towards the beach area. There was a really nice beachfront house here too. This beach allowed the dogs onto it, and one was definitely enjoying following the fish in the shallow water. Now, not to be outdone by this dog having plenty of fun in the water, we headed around the corner to find a little boat hire place. So, of course, we're hiring a boat and going up the river like everybody else. Oh, yes. Welcome aboard. So we were given some quick instructions on how to manoeuvre the boat and given a map of the river, and off we went, past the van, heading inland. Now, I don't know where all these other boats have gone because we saw next to nobody in the 2 hours that we had our boat. There were some birds flying around, which we'd seen near the van earlier, and I think they're white-bellied eagles. This is the best picture I could get of one. Mr. M let me have a go at driving the boat, but not for very long before he took back the controls of it. So I spent the time trying to see if I could spot these koalas. I know they're out there somewhere. Heading back with the boat towards the van, and we spotted this guy on the motorway bridge, and it was like, no, he's not. Is he? Is he? He bloody is. Now, we had a great time on the boat and we both caught the sun, that's for sure. So we headed back and dropped it off before our last evening here, which we spent at the Brunswick Head Hotel. This isn't too far from the campsite, within walking distance, and there was live music on, which everybody was enjoying. Yeah, they certainly got the crowd up dancing by the end of the night. We were just happy to watch from our seats though. On the campsite, we'd got talking to a Scottish guy who'd actually lived out in Australia for a number of years, and he recommended the taking the Tweed Valley Drive. Yep, there's a big bike here at the Moo Moo Roadhouse. I told you we'd see something big again. There was a local guy here as well who'd come for a brew on his horse, and Stephen quite enjoyed looking around the memorabilia at the Roadhouse. From here, we carried on towards Chillingham, and there's loads of sugarcane being grown in this area. Following Route 34, we had a stop at the Chillingham stores where we enjoyed coffee and a cake and a bit of a chinwag with a couple of bikers that were there. Now, this is our last stop in New South Wales. Can you believe it? The next stop was the state border of Queensland, and that meant a time change for us too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and look out for our next adventures in Queensland.